Hello and welcome to the Monday, October 30th, 2022 Hillsborough Township Board of Education meeting.
Part of my superintendent's report tonight, there are two presentations, so I ask you to just have a little bit of patience, but I do have some important things to go over today. As you can see behind me, Build Borough Back, you've heard a lot about that. If you see my car right now, it looks like it has polka dots all over it because I put plenty of magnets on it trying to gain some attention. And our Build Borough Back effort started from my 100-day report that I submitted to the Board of Education. When I had the opportunity to look at the district functioning, our staffing levels, and get a sense of where we are and where we want to be. That report then turned into an effort for staffing, which is going to be put in front of the voters next Tuesday, November 7th. And actually, you can start voting right now in the municipal building if you wanted to. I did. If you follow me on Twitter or X, @SuePolpe, I already cast my ballots. I walked into a situation where even though we are cutting, we have more building in town, we have more ratables in town. So the taxes that support the district are spread out among more taxpayers, and that's what's called your tax rate going down. Tax rates in town, it's a fact, you can look at your own papers now, tax rates have gone down. If tax rates were going up, I would be crazy to come to you right now and say, hey, can you spend more and I guarantee to raise your taxes? Tax rates are going down, so there could be a minimal amount of impact. So now is the right time to start building borough back. And the two things that we really were talking about here is about school security. And I brought this up at a few different presentations, talking about who's in charge of our security at our schools. And I showed you the numbers, that for less than, for around $930,000, we can add school security personnel and a security coordinator to keep eyes on our students, on our staff members, on our community members. It's a need here in Hillsborough, and as a parent, it's needed. The second question that we talked about was, because of all these cuts, I was gone for several years from Hillsborough, even though I'm a long-term Hillsborough person. Lost over 50 certificated staff positions. And I've heard teachers come up to the podium. I've heard Mr. Goodhue come up to the podium when I wasn't here that it has to stop. We have to stop cutting staff members. But you were forced to be put in such a situation. So the board very bravely decided, hey, let's start to add some of those back. And let's bring back 20 certificated staff positions for a price tag of around $1.9 million. And I have tried to be ultimately transparent in telling you what those positions are going to be. I've been around town. I've gotten a chance to meet with some home and school associations. I have met the senior group at Gateway Community and have been very specific as to what these 20 positions will be. And there's QR codes behind me. This will be posted tomorrow to take a look at this to see if you want more details. So they're there. They're K-12, they're teachers, they're mental health supports, they're everything that our students need in order to be successful. And it's some of what Hillsborough was robbed of because of, I think, an unfair funding formula. When people wanted to know, well, how is this going to affect me? We put a tax calculator on our website where the only thing you need to figure that out are two pieces of paper, your tax statement from last year from the township and your tax statement from this year. We have an online calculator where you can calculate and see, are your taxes going down, are they going up, or are they staying relatively the same?
Hello, I'm Jerry Eckert. I'm the School Business Administrator for the Hillsborough Township Public Schools.
And I'm Michelle Lefevre, Assistant School Business Administrator for the district.
We're here to talk about how the school tax rates are going down from last year, even after you decide to vote for the Bring Borough Back questions that will be on the general election ballot on November 7th.
To show how your school tax rates are going down from last year, we created a tax impact calculator to calculate the supplemental tax impact of the three options for your property: school security, additional staff, or both. You can find the calculator at calculator.htps.us.
So let's see how to use the calculator with the sample Hillsborough tax bill from last year. Our sample tax bill from last year had an assessed value of $589,100. Assuming the same assessed value, if both proposals pass, this household will receive a supplemental tax bill of $217.97 in January. This example was for a Hillsborough home. If you are a Millstone property owner, please be sure to enter your 23-24 assessed value in the Millstone section of the calculator. Please be sure to check your new 23-24 tax bill when it arrives for the assessed value to use in this calculator.
To figure out the overall change from last year, you'll need your 22-23 and your 23-24 tax bills. Since the school tax rate decreased, the new tax bill minus the old one will show a savings, unless your property's assessed value has increased.
For a Hillsborough property assessed at $589,100, this year's base school tax without any separate proposals would be $8,194.38. Last year's school tax for that same assessed value was $8,606.75. This household has seen a school tax savings of $412.37 for the year. Of course, that's assuming that their assessed value has remained the same.
Saving $412.37 for the year-over-year base school tax decrease, plus the $217.97 in supplemental taxes if both proposals are approved, would still mean an overall savings of $194.40 from last year to this year,
In addition to building borough back by adding 20 certificated positions.
and increasing school safety.
How much extra state aid have other towns in our very own county received, and towns that border Hillsborough specifically are highlighted? If you look at us, the people of Hillsborough, we've lost about $4.2 million, and we still have another year of this to go through. And look around the rest of Somerset County. That doesn't look fair to me. And I don't think Superman is coming to the State House to say, I must save Hillsborough. I must reconfigure this, when 16 districts in our county right now are very happy. When I go to superintendent's meetings, nobody's complaining about the school funding formula except me. I do so vociferously and passionately, but I'm a very small minority right there. And if you look at those towns that border us, just keep that in mind. We've got an $8 million gap over that time period with Bridgewater, $12 million gap with Franklin, 16 with Manville, 7.7 with Montgomery, and 7 million with Somerville. Next year's budget, we're projecting we're going to lose another $400,000. Well, how did this happen? What's going on? When S2 came, remember, 66% of school districts were happy. They don't really care about the formula. 1/3 of school districts weren't happy. So when school districts started to ask, what's the formula? What's the formula? Department of Education said, we'll get back to you. Okay, came back. What's the formula? Eventually, Tom's River had to sue to get the formula, and it's still not abundantly clear. Explanations have been given, but there are still variables that don't make a lot of sense. And I'm not going to bore you with those details, but I just want to let you know that there's advocacy going on from superintendents like myself. But you might say, hey, Mike, that's great that you keep talking about the county, but there are some bigger schools in the county, there are some smaller schools in the county. Let's talk about schools like you throughout the state. Same size, same socioeconomic status. What does your administration look like compared to them? We are, again, last in the state when it comes to administrative salaries and benefits that is spent per pupil. We have already cut where we can cut. We have had people come here and say, hey, we don't have enough supplies. We don't have enough administration. The reason why we don't have those things is because of this S2 and this school funding. We have cut so we could keep the people in front of our kids that need to be in front of our kids. And the most important thing too for everybody, whether you have kids in the schools or not, or aren't connected to the schools, neighboring towns getting increased aid, millions and millions and millions of dollars more, they can pass us educationally and economically. And those towns eventually are going to become more desirable to live in, and then that is going to affect our property values. I don't want that to happen here in Hillsborough. And in 10 months here as superintendent, I'm kind of putting a lot out on the line, that we have the opportunity to vote on 2 separate questions, one for security, one for staffing, and it's only going to benefit the district at a minimal tax impact to everyone. What I can also tell you is this board was courageous in partnering with me on this, and I thank them. And I am not going to recommend, like if this goes down, I'm not going to say, let's try it again next year. Because my promise to you was I did this because tax rates are going lower. I can't guarantee that next year. And I'm not going to bring something in front of the taxpayers like this if I know it's going to harm us economically. We have our chance. We can build back borough. Vote on November 7th. Just make some time out of your day to vote. Please consider helping us build borough back. This is something I'm very passionate about, and this is our chance. We're 1 week away from getting some really great stuff done, and I want to thank the board for supporting me on that.